All right, class. So I received a question about rendering in Substance Painter, um, and I think it's worth for me to record a video about it. So I'm gonna use Michelle's model as an example for the demonstration. So this is Michelle's model. She provided me the OBJ file of the base mesh of her X model. So as you can see that the file size is very small, and this is the model itself. It's no polygon model. And here are all the textures she provided. So basically she have a separate material for each part of the model. The handle has its own texture and own material. The blade has its own material and texture. Okay, but if you have all objects that has the same material, same texture, it's totally fine. Which I'm gonna show you, how to deal with the different scenarios. Okay, and this is the rendered image that she provided. She rendered this in Substance Painter. As you can see, the model is really no polygon model, but the texture is a high resolution model. The texture. Yeah. Okay. So first of all, you have to open Substance Painter. And Michelle provided me the .obj file. If you have a FBX file, is also good. So it doesn't matter which file format you're going to use, either OBJ or FBX. To start with it, you can simply just drag the OBJ file, drop it in here. You're going to pump up a window. So it really not that matter. So you can select any like metallic roughness. There's a lot of different presets. So this is just the preset. Again, you can select any of this. It doesn't matter. But here, document resolution, we want to select a high resolution. It depends on what file size, what file dimension your texture image is. Okay, it's better to set the same image dimension. Okay, and you can keep everything as default and click OK to create a project. So here's the model, and the shortcut to rotate around is the same. If you hold down Option key and use your mouse left key, you'll be able to rotate around it. If you hold down Option key and mouse right key, you are able to zoom in, zoom out. Okay, so if you hold down Shift, and then use your mouse right key, drag, and you should be able to change the light direction so you can examine how the texture looks on your model. Okay. Let me see if this is the most updated model. Okay, yeah, this is the most updated model, I think. So before you bring it in here, don't forget to soften the edge of your base mesh. Okay, don't forget to soften the edge on your base mesh. I explained that in the previous lecture video I posted. Otherwise, if you don't soften the edge, you're going to see the hard edges on your model. Okay, all right. So the first step is you want to add the textures you have created to here. And if you check the window here, the texture set list, okay, these are all of the materials you have for your model. So if all of the parts are using the same material and same texture map, you will only be able to see one object here. But because Michelle's model has all different materials for different parts, right? So the handle is the wood handle. Let me switch the window like this. So that this is the wood handles material, is a separate material, and this is the nether, okay, nether material. Okay, so she has several materials for it. So that's why when I'm selecting each one of it, it shows the UV and texture of the individual parts. Just let you know. Okay, so this part is the similar as a Photoshop. Okay, and here you can understand as a material, right? So if I select for example, this is the blade. If I select the blade material, I'm able to create multiple layers and edit the texture of the blade. If I want to work on, for example, the nether, this is the nether, you can select it and create different layers. Okay, so now let's import our texture image first. You can also just select the images, all images, and drag them and drop it in here. Or you can go to Tool menu, oops, you can go to Tool menu, File, and Import Resources. Okay, they're the same. So here, add resources, I'm going to add her textures. Okay, so I'm gonna, I think I'm gonna add all of them. So I only have to do it once. Oh, that's too many. Anyway, let me do it one more time. So for demonstration purpose, I want to make it faster. So I will just import a part of it. So we are on the nether. So let's import the nether and handle just for demonstration purpose. So add those. Okay, and you have to define what this is for. So we're gonna use it for texture, not environment. Environment is like when you render your object, you want a 360-degree texture, and that is the environment. Okay, so import where you want to import to. You can import to current session. So you're going to temporarily show up on here, and you have to apply it. And once you import other images, the old one gonna be deleted. Okay, so you can choose that if you want. You can also try, put it into our project so it stays there permanently. But any options doesn't affect what we have already applied on the model. Just let you know. So here, once you set it, you can click on import. So all of the texture are going to show up here. Okay, so now we have our textures imported in Substance Painter. So how can we get the texture onto the model? So that's the layers. As you know, when you're editing Photoshop project, to get the image into your project, you have to drop the image and drop it onto the layers, right? So here's the same, but instead of editing the default layer, usually we would just create a new layer, a fill layer. So the fill layer, you can understand it like a solid layer in After Effects, or a new layer with a solid color in Photoshop. Okay, so we create a fill layer, and then in the fill layer, if you just scroll down here, you should find all of the different channels. Okay, so here's the corner channel. Okay, on this layer, the corner channel, the other name is diffuse map, right? Diffuse map, corner map is the same, or texture. So this is the nether. So we just drop the nether diffuse map. See that we have the corner enabled. So, oh, sorry, my bad. Scroll down a little bit more, so until we can see the corner channel, which is here, base corner. So if you just drop it on here, so this image will be used on the corner channel of that layer. So you're gonna show up here. Okay, so don't drop it onto the wrong channel. So here we have a normal map. So that is this one, the normal map. If we just drop it and drop it on there, do you notice that immediately you're gonna change how it looks? Okay, so if I hold on Shift and drag my mouse key, you will notice that. Okay, you will notice the mesh is really kind of a glossy, and it reflects the lights and has all of these bumps. Okay, so I think here she has a small problem in the model, but we're gonna ignore it for now since we're gonna just do texturing and rendering. Okay, so that's the normal map. And then what else she has? Okay, she don't have roughness or specularity map. Okay, so let me check. Nether. Okay, yeah, she don't have the specularity map or roughness map. I think it's because the nether, it reflects lights entirely. Okay, so she don't need it. But let's work on the wood. Okay, so the wood definitely we will have the reflectivity of property. So it's better to, let me see, this is nether. It's better to rename the material so it makes more sense. So next time it's easier to find. To rename the layer or material, you can just double click on it. Okay, so this is the nether, and here's the nether layer or anything you can recognize, just rename it. Okay, and then the first one I believe is a blade, and which one is, okay, this one is the handle. So here let's say handle M, and I want to also create a fill layer and rename the fill layer as handle layer. Okay, and go Underneath its properties, okay, find its base counter channel and just drop the base counter onto it, and you'll see it's there. Okay, and then it's the normal map channel. Here, she has two normal maps. I'm gonna, okay, I'll just grab any of it. And here we go. So now we have the bumps. Okay, see, this is without the normal map. This is with normal map. It really changes how it looks. But I don't think the reflectivity is good. So that's why she has a roughness map. So we can take a look. Here's a roughness map. So what roughness map does is, it does a similar job as a specularity map. As you know, for specularity map, anything that is in pure white, you reflect the 100% light, right? Anything in pure black, it doesn't reflect any light at all. And the colors in the middle, like a middle gray, you're gonna reflect part of the color. So that's a specularity map. White reflects all lights. But for roughness map, it works in the opposite way. So for roughness map, the black color reflects 100% light, and the white color reflects no lights. Just let you know the concept. Okay, so for her roughness map, you can see that the black area you reflect a lot of lights. Okay, so let's see if it is accurate. We can just drop the roughness map she has and apply it. I think it just intensifies the lights, the reflections, which well, kind of good. See here, this part is good, but not everywhere. See, here looks weird. So I think we have to change it a little bit. So let me bring in the roughness map here. So let me show you what I would do to do a final change before I actually apply everything. So this is the UV. So here I'm gonna just change the blending mode to, I think, multiply is too much. I hope she have a PNG image for me. That would be much easier. Let me just flip the color. That's it. So the black color is the wireframe. Okay, the UV. And then I also want to import its color map as a reference, so I know where am I supposed to reflect the lights. The software crashed, sorry. So let me just reopen it. This happens. Anyway, so while the software is loading, it's not that slow. Let me see if it can recall what I have done. Don't send. Okay, it doesn't recall what I have done. So here, let me do it again. So I'm gonna drop in maybe the color map, and then on top of it is a roughness map. So I think right now at this stage, the roughness map is too strong. It reflects too much lights, right? So as you know, the black color will reflect 100% light. So that's to see if I simply make it brighter, it will reflect less light, right? Just make it brighter first. So this is the first adjustment I'm gonna do. Okay, and then let me bring in the UV as a reference. So here's the handle. So bring in the UV, and I'm gonna use multiply and invert the color. So here we go. Okay. So I'm gonna temporarily hide it, and so I can see through it. I can see the texture. So here is the blood. So I want to make some reflectivity on the blood. Okay. So that is how the other texture is gonna kick in. For example, okay. I don't think this looks very good. So let me just Google more textures. So for example, blood texture. Okay, we're gonna use that one. And so first of all, I'm gonna adjust this color. So change the saturation and boost up is contrast. Okay, and then I think I can temporarily just hide the UV map. Okay, I don't need it for now. And then I'm going to create a mask and invert the mask. So now it's a transparent. And on the mask, I'm going to use a white color. And for the brush, I'm going to use a soft rounded brush. Okay, see that? And as I slowly paint on it, it's going to show up. Okay, it's going to show the texture I've created. Okay, so that's some blood there. Okay, and then I just made another duplication, and this time I put it here. Oops. And I'm gonna hide those areas. See, I'm editing the mask. All right, and I'm gonna show this part and just get a little bit reflectivity on there. Okay. Oops. I think I'm gonna turn off the auto select. It's allowing. Okay, and then I think I can also add some scratches. For example, this one. So I'm gonna bring it in, invert the color, make it smaller. And change the blending mode to multiply. So here we go. Okay, and then I think I'm gonna create a mask and just show where I want it to be. And for the other ones, see the other ones, I can also change the blending mode to multiply. So you're gonna get rid of the white color. The other one also multiply. Did I already change it? Oh, it's this one. Yeah, multiply. So here is it. Okay, I can also give it a little bit more structure there. Okay, I think that's it. That's just for demonstration purpose. Okay, very quick editing of the texture, and then you're gonna hide the original color map, show her original roughness map. Okay, and then I'm gonna group all of this together in one group. So this is gonna be the new roughness map. So this is gonna be R2. Okay, and I think I'm gonna save this just in case in the future we're going to edit it, handle R2, and I'm gonna export it as a JPEG map. Just trying to get it to everywhere. Save, and here we go. Oh, here we go. Okay, so just to make sure I get it to the correct folder. Okay, so this is the new one, and I'm gonna go back to here and drop it in here. One more time. Okay, texture and into our project and import. See here, it's here. Okay, so now I'm gonna replace that roughness map and see what can happen. As soon as I replace it, as you can see that it reflects less light, but I do still think, see that here the black part is supposed to be block light, not reflect light. The opposite areas is supposed to reflect light. So I think she just made it opposite. Okay, so let me just revisit it and change it by just select this map, and maybe I can just invert the color, and then make it brighter. And see how it looks. Okay, and then this one I'm gonna export as R3. Save and export, and here is it. Okay, so let's get it into Substance Painter and load it as a texture and bring it into our project, import, and drop it onto our model. Okay, I think now it looks better. See that? The light is reflecting the gaps, not actually on the black spot. Okay, so that's what I want. And if you look down here, I don't think I get lights on that part, but here, you notice that? How it looks? The lights are going to reflect on the blood area. See that? And these areas are still kind of dull. And there's a scratches I added. That is the scratches I added. Okay, so I didn't get the time to edit this part, but if you add more detailed textures on the other areas where you have the blood, if you can add more texture on those parts, you're gonna get the opposite side work as well. Okay, see here, that part also reflects the lights. Okay, so now let's move on. So this is the handle. I think I got everything. Okay, so this is the blade. Let me see which part is this one. So I'm still getting used to her model. So we don't need this. I'm gonna delete it. Okay, so that is okay, not the back one. Maybe it's the front. Okay, yeah, that is the front blade. So it's gonna be the front blade. So let me rename it. Front blade material, and we're going to add a fill layer and front blade layer. Okay, and here we're going to add textures. So that's a front one, N and S. So diffuse, normal map, and specularity. Okay, I think so. This is specularity. You can apply it onto metallic channel. So let me just show you, okay, how it gonna look, and should we change it to roughness map or not? It will look good in Maya when you use it as a specularity map, but it may not look good here. Okay, so we select it and we get a base color on it, and then it's the normal map. Okay, so here we go. So now we got two. Normal map, base color, normal map. I think I just dropped it on the wrong one. Okay, if I remember correctly, she should have some detail. Okay, normal map, yes, it has a detail. Let me just redo. So create another fill layer. Normal. Okay, here we go. I think I just messed it up. I was applied it to the opacity channel, that's why. And base color. Okay. Okay, looking good. All right, so now it's the reflectivity. So now if we get the specularity map, she did a good job on creating the specularity map. Only the blade area, the white color area, you're gonna reflect the light. Okay. However, see that? So here's the metallic channel. If we just applied it, see that part is super strong, but it doesn't block much light at the bottom. So I don't think the specularity map works the best on the metallic channel. So maybe we have to create a roughness map for our case. Okay, so which is very easy. As I showed you, for specularity map, if we simply just invert the color and apply it as a roughness map, it's gonna work. So I'm gonna just apply this the first time and apply it and show you how it gonna look, and then I'm gonna refine polishing it. Okay. So this is the roughness map. Oh. So the roughness map, and I'm gonna bring it in here. Roughness map. Bring it as a texture. Bring it into the project. Okay, and drop it onto the roughness channel. So now you see that here it does not reflect any light at all, but it should still reflect light on the blade. Okay, see that the blade, it still gets strong lights, but I don't think it's work the best. So I think we have to work more on it. So this is the start point. So on top of it, I'm gonna bring in the UV map for reference only, invert the color, change it to multiply, and then I'm gonna bring in the color map. Wait, not this one. The color map as well. So I have something as reference. So I place it at the bottom. Okay, so here on top of it, I can add some scratches as the reflections. So here, let me get some interesting scratches into the scene. Invert the color, change it to multiply, and make sure it doesn't spill over. Okay, and I can just duplicate it and rotate it, get it to the other side. Okay, and we can just keep adding stuff. For example, this one I think is kind of interesting. So I'm gonna make it smaller and overlap it here and change it to, oops, sorry, not multiply. Invert the color first and then change it to multiply, and here we go. Okay, and here I think I'm gonna just add a little bit more scratches along the blade, like this. Invert the color. I'm gonna add a mask to it, and slowly add some stuff there, and change the blending mode to multiply. Actually, you should select the whole layer and change it to multiply. So now I just added some scratches there, and let's see what else I have. Oh, I have this, so I can make it even stronger. And then invert the color, and then maybe this way, and make it smaller, or even smaller, like this. Okay, and I give it a mask, invert the mask color. And for this whole layer, I change the blending mode to multiply. Okay, so let's say I don't think I'm gonna go too much on this because I have to do it very quick. So here I'm gonna, put them in a group and change this to R2. This is actually R2. Second roughness map. Oops. And export it as a JPEG format and save. All right, so now if I bring this one in here and drop it into Substance Painter, you're gonna see how you're gonna change it. Okay, so let me get a little bit far away from it. So roughness map, if I just update it, what happened? Oh, here. Okay, so you know notice the differences. Okay, so here we get some scratches along the blood. So if I can also add something on the blood, that would be great. Okay, so I think I'm gonna revisit it, and now I'm gonna hide which one? This one. Okay, I'm gonna hide that one. And for the place where I have the blood, I'm gonna bring in this guy. Make it even bigger. And oops. I'm gonna take out these colors and make it really contrasty. And oh wait, where is it? Okay, here. And then I'm gonna change it to multiply blending mode, so I can see it better. And then add a mask to it, and use the mask to hide the area that you don't want it to show. Okay, I'll leave the other side just as it is. Okay, and then I'm gonna update this map. Okay, so save it as R3. It's here. Okay. So now if I go back to here and drop it in Mapbox, use it as a texture and import, and now let's take a look. Oh, that's too much, right? It's better, but I think it's too much, a little bit too much. Yeah, a little bit too much. So then you can just revisit and lower down the opacity. So maybe that one also. Okay, so lower down the opacity. So we're gonna just put it half transparent. One more try. So in this whole process, basically you just go back and forth and find the best result for your texture maps. Texture and the whole project, and then bring it here. Okay, yeah, now it looks much better. So that part, it reflects the lights. See that, the blood, it reflects the lights. Okay, I think for the rest of the part, I'm gonna just apply what she has, and I'm gonna move forward for rendering. Okay, so that is the blade. That should be the back blade, which is this one. Back blade M, and I can also create a new layer and rename it as a back blade layer. And on the layer, see here, we're going to apply this. Wait, okay. I'm going to apply these textures and import it to the current project. And then for the normal map, I'm going to drop in the normal map, and here's the color map. And she only have the metallic, the specularity map, so I can just change it very quick by bring it into Photoshop and invert the color and make sure saturation is down to 0, so we only have black and white colors. Okay, so here I just add a little bit of scratch onto it, invert the color, and maybe have a duplication. make it a little bit bigger. And we're gonna change the blending mode to multiply. Okay, that's it. So I don't want to waste too much time on it. So here I'm gonna save as a roughness map. Export as a roughness map. Here we go. Okay, so this is roughness map. We'll bring it in Substance Painter also. Import it to the whole project. Okay, so here we go. So now I'm gonna apply it. So now immediately you're gonna see it looks different. You should have the scratches somewhere. Oh, it's down there. So it should be. Anyway, should be somewhere in the map, which I'm gonna just ignore it for now. If you just add more stuff on it, it's gonna be more obvious. So now is the loop. So yeah, the loop. Create a new layer for the fill layer, and I'm gonna bring in the textures. Okay, so that's the base color and that's the normal map. Okay, so now we can move forward for rendering with these settings. So for for the rendering, you're gonna click on this button. It's very straightforward, you'll see. Okay, so you position your model. And also if you hold on Shift and mouse right key, you can adjust the light direction. See that? Hold on Shift and mouse right key. You can adjust the light direction. So usually I would have a 45-degree light from the side. So it will make your model looks better. Okay. And also the background, you don't need the background. You want a solid background. Okay. You want a solid background. So you're gonna go to the settings here. Hold on. Let me find it. Environment map, not this one. Oh, here. So just click on this small button, environment setting, and we're going to check off the background. And here's the important thing is if you increase the sample, you're going to export more detail. Right now my sample only have 1000. So as I shouldn't move it. As I save the image, see that? As it's finished, you can save it anytime. As I save the render to downloads folder, for example, if I just give it 001 and save it as a JPEG images, you're gonna see it works, but the image is not in the best resolution. So see here, if I open it and if I zoom in, see that? You're gonna see a lot of noises. So you can boost up the sample. So if you do, for example, 6000, so you're gonna generate more details there. And also for the maximum time, if you can increase it to, instead of 10 seconds, if you can do, for example, 120 seconds, and once it's finished, you're gonna have much better render image, and you just have to click on save render whenever it's done. So you can click on save render anytime, even if it's still rendering. So whenever you click on it, you're gonna pause it. Okay, whenever you exit the window, you're gonna keep rendering, keep adding more detail. So that's how the render of this software works. It's totally different than other software like Blender or Maya, in which you have to wait until it's fully finished to save the image. But here, you can just interrupt it anytime and save whatever has been rendered. Okay, you can also render it to PNG images. So that's going to have a transparent background. with it. Okay, and to go back, you just clicking on this button again, and how to render your model with wireframe. Okay, so let me take the handle as example, or maybe the leather. Okay, so just create a new layer and rename this new layer as wireframes. Okay, as wireframes, and on this layer you should find a property that named emission, right? Emission is like a self illumination setting. Okay, emissive layer, and here we'll just bring in the nether. Where is it? The nether's UV map into the scene, and define as a texture, and bring it into the project, and then bring the UV onto its emission channel. So now you can see that it's there, but it doesn't look good. Doesn't look the best. Okay, and when it's in the emissive channel, you can just go to the blending mode, and if you just change it to screen soft light, okay, or lighting, or hard light, so anything, so you're gonna show up on top of it. Okay, so that's the easiest thing you can do. Alright, so now if you go back and the render is gonna render the model with the wireframe on top of it. So it's good for you to showcase your wireframes in your portfolio. Alright, so that's pretty much of everything. So the rendering, texturing in Substance Painter is very straightforward, right? As you can see, you can keep adding stuff. You can twist all of the settings to get a different result. And you can change the light direction interactively, and you can also change the oops, because I'm rendering is kind of slow. You can also change the angle directly. Okay, the rendering angle, you can zoom in if you want, and you can change the light direction interactively, and you're gonna keep rendering. Okay, I think I'm gonna just stop here, and I'll let you to go back to your work.